How to assemble Aventon Level. In this video, we're here to walk you through assembling your new bike with a few tips and tricks along the way. For assembly, you're going to need side cutters or something to cut the packaging, a set of metric hex or Allen keys required to install the front wheel and pedals, grease, tire pump. Included with your bike is a set of hex keys and grease. A bicycle work stand is helpful, but it's not necessary. You need to be familiar with bicycles and how they function while being comfortable using common hand tools. Before building, watch this video in its completion to understand what's involved. We will cover everything to get you rolling, but reach out for further assistance on detailed adjustments you may need. If you aren't comfortable with the steps shown, you can use a local bicycle shop or mobile repair and assembly service like VeloFix or VeloTooler to assemble the bike for you. We recommend Aventon Elite Bike Shops. You can find that list on our website, but any qualified bike shop can help. Open the shipping box and take the bike out, placing it on a stable surface. Remove the packaging materials from the bike by cutting and moving the zip ties, foam, and cardboard padding. But don't discard the box or packing material. We know you're going to love your new bike, but you'll need them in the rare event of a return. Much of the assembly is already completed, like the installation of the rear wheel, derailleur, rear rack, and rear fender, and more. Let's finish the rest of the assembly. To make handling the bike easier, you can use a bicycle work stand. If you don't have one, you can rest the bike on the edge of the shipping box. Let's plug in the battery to an outlet now, so it has some time to charge while we finish building the bike. The level battery is hidden inside the down tube, or the big tube located in the middle and lower half of the bike. Located in the accessory box is the key. Turn the key counterclockwise to the unlocked position. Then turn the battery release knob clockwise. The battery will release from the frame. The charger is located in the other accessory box. Under the bottom of the battery, you will find the hidden charging port. First, plug the charging cord into the battery, then plug the charger into the wall outlet. The LED on the charger indicates charging is in process. Use your 5mm hex key wrench to loosen and remove the top cap on the top of the fork steerer tube. Set it aside. The fork is protected during shipping with a white PVC sleeve or spacer. Remove and set that aside also. In its place, we're going to mount the bicycle stem. This is the assembly that holds the handlebars to the bike. Slide the stem onto the fork steerer tube. Place and loosely bolt down the top cap on top of the stem. Leave the pinch bolts loose for now. We will return to this part later in the assembly process. The next step is to install the front fender. You'll need your 3 and 4mm hex key wrenches. The 4mm hex key wrench is used behind the brake arch on the fork, and the 3mm hex wrench is used on the 2 mounting points on the fork's lower casting. Remove all the bolts and set aside. Slide the fender into place, then install the bolt behind the fork arch. The front fender has a pre-installed mounting clip, shown here. Remove it, then attach each clip to the fork's lower casting. Finally, reattach the fender stays to the mounting clip. Let's get the remainder of the parts from the accessory box. Pedals, a boot or cover for the rear axle, grease packet, and reflectors. Next, grab the saddle and seat post assembly. Apply grease to the interior of the bicycle seat tube and to the seat post. Open the quick release lever, then slide the seat post into position at your desired height, making note of the minimum insertion mark. Close the quick release lever. The axle boot goes here to cover the axle nut on the rear wheel. On the drive side of the bike, the boot is already installed. Simply slide it up toward the hub and press firmly. We're ready to install the front wheel. The Level uses an upgraded suspension fork, which includes a through axle for stiffness and control. This also makes mounting the front wheel a snap. There is a black plastic block, shown here, protecting the brake pads. Pull to remove it. Use a 6mm hex key wrench to loosen and remove the through axle. Simply slide the front wheel into place, push the through axle through, and tighten in place with your 6mm hex key wrench. Anytime you install the front wheel on your bike, check to make sure the wheel spins freely and the tire does not rub on the fender. Adjust the fit of the fender as needed. You can put the kickstand down now and use it to balance the bike while you complete the rest of the assembly. Grab the pedals from the accessory box and grease the threads. Note that the pedals are labeled left and right. The right pedal goes on the rider's right, the side of the bike with the drivetrain. The left pedal goes on the rider's left, the side of the bike opposite the chain and gears. The right pedal and right crank arm have right hand thread and tighten clockwise. The left hand pedal and left crank arm have left hand thread. They tighten counterclockwise, which is opposite of most other threaded interfaces. If you need a quick way to remember this distinction, just note that each pedal tightens toward the front of the bike. There's also a sticker on the crank arm to remind you of the thread direction. If you feel an unusual amount of resistance, or you can't get the pedal to start, stop and ask for help to avoid damaging your bike. You should be able to thread both in partially by hand before tightening with a hex key. The hex key fitting is hidden in the end of each pedal axle. Let's return to the stem. The pinch bolts on the side of the stem hold it in place. Loosen them so that the stem can be turned so it aligns with the front wheel. Tighten back down once it's straight. The handlebar is attached to the stem with a faceplate and 4 bolts. You can tilt the handlebar to suit your personal preference. Loosen the bolts, then retighten with the handlebar at your preferred angle. The display arrives disconnected from the rest of the e-bike system. Take a look at the orientation of the connectors. Align the pins as shown, then press firmly to connect the display. Let's put the charged battery back on the bike. Put the key in the unlock position. Angle the battery so the bottom part moves into place first, then push firmly from the top. Finally, turn the key to the lock position and remove the key. Here it is, the fully assembled and ready to ride Aventon Level. It's exciting to try your new bike, but before you ride, perform a double check of the work that you have completed to ensure your Level is ready for safe use, including the firm attachment of the wheels, handlebar, and proper brake function. You should install the reflectors and you should add lights if riding at night. The white reflector is designed to fit on the handlebar and faces front, and the red reflector points to the rear and is designed to mount on the seat post. We recommend everyone should always wear a helmet. Note that some riders might need a helmet by law in certain locations when riding a Class 3 e-bike like the Level. If at any time you're confused or have questions, reach out to us and we'll get you rolling in no time. Now, let's review the controls you'll use on your first ride. The Level has a single power button to turn the bike on and off. Press and hold M to turn the bike on. Tap the down arrow until the level of pedal assist is 0. Test ride the bike with pedal assist set to 0 at first. Then tap the up arrow to add pedal assist once you're comfortable. When done riding, tap down to set the level of pedal assist to 0. Then press and hold the M button to power down before parking your bike.